How does it benefit a man to gain the world or to profit from the world, yet to lose his soul? We're going to talk about that when I come back in just about 2 to 3 seconds.
Now it's time for desktop discussions.
So, again, folks, you've heard the phrase, you've heard the affirmation. It's harder for a man to get through the eye. Oh man, I'm messing it all up. Is more difficult, or it's easier for a man to get through the eye of a needle than to get into heaven. Something to that respect. And I probably should, absolutely should know that phrasing from scripture, but I'm not here to preach. This is not a sermon. This is a basic training on a simple, simplistic, very clear lesson, at least in my eyes. So, how does it benefit a man to gain the world, to profit from the world's whatever, fill in the blank, yet to lose his soul? I thought about that because the world is in chaos, upheaval, right? There's so many things going on and so many things going wrong, yet we keep moving forward as we should. But how should we move forward? You see, they say that doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, is the definition of insanity. So, yes, we should move forward, but how are we moving forward? See, there lies the difference. And, your soul is very important, just like my soul is very important. But seemingly, we're living such reckless lives. And for the world, I just don't get it. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Every day I wake up, there's all kinds of crazy reports on the news. And I think part of the problem is that many of us, we take the path of least resistance. It's easier to do it this way, it's easier to do it that way. And, look, take notes, ask questions, challenge me, whatever you would like to do. I encourage that. But let's be realistic with ourselves. It is easy to do what everyone else is doing. It is easy to jump on board of a moving vehicle of sorts versus getting your own vehicle and creating the opportunity for it to move. I understand that. It takes a lot to go 10 toes down and stand on your own because of your own ethics, your own philosophy and mindset. But yet, most of us, we do just the opposite. We go with what everyone else says, and we abandon what we know many times deep in our hearts what we should do. And to me, that's very unfortunate because we should be more intelligent than that. We should understand that our instincts are alive for a reason. Give you an example. I was going somewhere today, went to the gym, came home, got dressed, ready to go out. This Friday, want to do my thing. And my heel started hurting. I'm like, why is my heel hurting? Now, of course, I don't know because it happened out of the clear blue. About an hour later, I looked down at my phone and there was a text message. I was being asked for help, for assistance. Now, had I done my own thing, which I was already planning on doing, I was dressed, ready to go do it, I would not have been able to respond to the person needing help. But I sat there and I said, oh, wow, does this have anything to do with my foot suddenly hurting and aching me? And I don't know for sure, but my gut, my instinct says, yes, it does. Because even though it's not detrimental, it was important that I lend myself to someone in need versus fulfill myself with needless things. And I think sometimes that's the way God speaks to us, and we don't always realize it. So your soul does matter. And I challenge you, ask questions. Tell me how wrong I am. Tell me how right I am. Whatever it is, it's on your mind, and you know what you've experienced and what you've gone through. So I would love to get your perspective on, what your soul, what it really means to you, not to me, regardless of my philosophy. So, taking the path of least resistance, but this is what I suggest, and write this down. If you've ever taken the path to least resistance, write down what that experience was like. Write down the results that you engaged, you learned, you benefited. Did you benefit from it? What was your takeaway by doing what everyone else does? Now, I'm not suggesting that that's always going to be a bad thing, but I believe in many cases, when we take the path of least resistance, we don't get the type of results that we really want. We get what everyone else gets, whatever that is. So we have to really be honest and understand that sometimes when you don't take the path of least resistance, write this down, it can be lonely. It can be very lonely. And why is it lonely? Because you're not doing what everyone else is doing. You know, everything is not about a spiritual matter, but it does matter in the big scheme of things. You know, I say it constantly, small things make the big things possible. And if you don't do the little things, it's impossible to get a big result someday, one day, or eventually. You know, that's just what it is. So understand that if you go against the grain, yes, it's going to be lonely. Most of the times it is lonely. Why? Because you're not doing what everyone else does. So if you've taken the path of least resistance and you have some results, meaning whatever your experience was, I'm sure it wasn't as fulfilling as it could be. So when you do decide, okay, I'm not doing what everyone else does, I'm doing my own thing. And yes, I'm wondering, are all of my moves good moves? Are all of my moves the right moves? Will I benefit from doing it my way? You know, Frank Sinatra talked about, I did it my way, but he was satisfied in doing it his way. I think that song was written by Paul Anka, by the way. But it's such a good song because it speaks to the life of man, of mankind. You know, being lonely is a opportunity to learn also. The opportunity to learn, it shows you either what to do or what to do differently. And you know, a lot of people don't want to be in that silo because being lonely is like being in a silo. You're alone. You're in a space usually by yourself. The decisions are on you, the investment is on you, the time is on you. It's all up to you to make something happen. So you have to understand it's not a bad thing, it's an experiential thing. And that's fine. That's a part of the journey of life. As they say, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And if your journey has no ups and downs, then it's not really a journey. Because to have $1 million one day, but lose it 30, 60 days later, 90 days later, a year later, how will you ever get back to that lifestyle? So understand it's about the journey. And another thing about being 10 toes down and making your own decisions, you have an element of truth that will never leave you, meaning that you made a decision. Write this down. You made a decision to do something that you really believed in. And the truth is, you were okay with that decision at the time, and you're living in that truth as you experience these different things. Now, if these different things don't reveal to you some important factors, then maybe you didn't make a good decision on the direction that you're going in. Because I truly believe that the truth is freeing, it liberates you. There's no baggage when you're living your truth because you know that this is a decision that you decided to make for your benefit. Now, most people, again, taking the path of least resistance, they don't have to worry about a burden because if everyone fails and they fail also, it's like, eh, we all fail together. But see, there was truly nothing ventured because you rode the momentum of everyone else. But I dare you to do your own thing. Be comfortable in that space, create your own momentum, and be able to stand up and say, you know what? It was well worth it. I see how this works now. I understand. I've experienced some milestones, I've experienced some lows, but it sure does feel good knowing that I made a decision that very few people are willing to make. That's why everyone wants someone on their team, because it's challenging to do it alone. Leverage. Write this down. Leverage. When you decide to do something that's different than what everyone else does, there is a benefit I call leverage, because number one, you're nothing like other people, and the leverage is that exponentially you can impact other people, because now people are saying, oh, so you're doing this thing by yourself and you're expecting to get certain results. So I could do something also by myself and expect to get certain results. Now, I'm not suggesting that you do something alone and that you never have a team. I'm not suggesting that. I'm not suggesting that you do something alone and that you never outsource. No, because you are the boss. You are the CEO of your life and of your business decisions. And as a CEO, like I've said many times before, you have a vested interest in everything you do, the people you're around, and the way that you spend your time. So understand that exponential leverage, or leveraging your decision in an exponential fashion, it simply means that you will slowly but surely impact other people. And it's going to get to a point that you won't know everyone that you're impacting, because it may start here and it spreads. It spreads over time, it spreads. And if you know everyone that you impact exponentially, then you're probably not impacting enough people. When I built teams in the network marketing industry, for example, I did not know all of my team members. I didn't know everyone that was on their team, which meant that whatever I was doing was not just impacting people that I knew, but it was impacting people that I did not know. And that's the same thing as a solopreneur or an individual entrepreneur, however you like to phrase it. So understand that your decision making can be leveraged in such a way that people benefit from you, your family, your friends, and of course, your business partners if you're in business, and even from a spiritual perspective. So you have to be willing sometimes to go against the grain, not be reckless, but to go against the grain because of what's inside of you, who you really are as a person. So many people, they fold versus standing up for themselves and speaking their true mind, even if it's just to be educated. But no, my friend, you are different. Allow yourself the space to learn and grow in this life by standing up for yourself, speaking up for yourself, and trying things that you know you ultimately want to do. Now, I don't know who this message is for, but whoever it's for, I encourage you. In order to be the best version of you, you're going to have to make some tough decisions. And some of those tough decisions will be very difficult in the beginning. But and as time moves forward, you'll find that things like, what's so hard about being you? That question, which I wrote a book about, of course, right? That question won't be so difficult because you'll be able to face the challenges of your own shortcomings, as well as the benefits from being the great person that you are, the person with all the things that you have to offer. And I truly believe that once you do that, and it's an ongoing journey, you will become aligned by design, meaning you'll be in the space that you're supposed to be in, which is what this book is about, aligned by design. It's all about you being the person that you are supposed to be, doing the things that you're supposed to do. And if you want to know more about those books and the whole series, the book series, please go to the website. I kid you not. I've had people tell me they see themselves in my writing, people that I've never met, but because they've heard me speak at an event, keynote, or do a workshop, it just rings home. And this is all this topic is about. It's about you making a decision that's right for you. Not right for me, it's right for you. I've had many mentors and colleagues that have done phenomenal things in the speaking, training, and entrepreneurial industry. And I've learned from them. As my friend says, you take the meat and you toss the bones. If there's bones, you don't chew those, you toss it. You want the protein from the meat. In other words, whatever the lesson is, you want to benefit from that lesson. You don't allow the naysayers, you don't allow those who don't have the heart to stand up for themselves to dictate your life. I refuse to be in the space of anyone that has negative energy, especially if I know it, and they are not going somewhere positive, and they have nothing but negative things to say and a negative perspective to share. That is a position I will not put myself in, and I encourage you to not put yourself in that position either. So with that being said, I would just like to say, hey, listen, this is a desktop discussion. I love doing what I do. I've been doing this for quite some time. Look for more things coming from me. I'm working on some new programs and things of that nature. But I encourage you, get the book, What's So Hard About Being You? Learn about yourself. You don't want to live a lie. And then when it literally is too late, there's nothing you can do, because I believe we all are aligned by design, but you'll never be lined up with that designation until you face who you really are and start making the tough decisions. So with that being said, I just want to say thank you for your time. As usual, this has been another desktop discussion. What can I say? There's always more to come. And until next time, you got to radiate the brain and change the game. Leave your comments. I'd love to get back with you.